All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we like to give all the honor, the praise, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak.
Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is the Gms Plaintables camp. All right, coming in with another day to preach the downfall of this kingdom. All right, so we're going to get right into it. So, brother, can you start me off with Isaiah 14:1?
Gone. So this Isaiah chapter 14:1, it says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob."
Yep. And that has yet to happen. Okay, currently, we still in this captivity. All right, this is not the time for us to go back unto the land of Israel. Okay, the people that's currently inhabiting that land, all right, those aren't the real people. All right, those are Amalek. Okay, what Esau does is, he likes to change his identity. All right, and he's done that from captivity to captivity, to the point where now he's saying that he's the true people. All right, now he's saying and made a whole new thing with it. Calling himself the Ish people. Okay, the Lil Hats. All right, can you read that again?
God, so this Isaiah chapter 14:1, it says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob."
And yet choose Israel. Can you get me Baruch 2:34? Because us going back to that land and ultimately ruling, because when the brother keeps reading, it's going to go into the we're going to be in rulership, and these other nations are going to be in captivity. All right, and there was a promise that was given unto Abraham that was passed down to Isaac, to Jacob, and scattered throughout the whole nation of Israel. Okay, that we will be back in our land, and we're going to be rulers of that land. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. It says, Baruch chapter 2:34, "And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished."
Increase them, and they shall not be diminished. So it's going to be an everlasting rulership. Okay, we go the kingdom is going to be built up of who? Of the elect. Okay, of the remnant on this side that's going to be saved with the chariots. Okay.
Yeah, the scriptures say how the Lord's going to make what the remnant, or pretty much the ones who overcome, a ruler of all things. But basically paraphrasing. Or if I can get that real quick.
Yeah, you can get that.
Come on. So it says. That's in yeah. Yes, log. This is. I think that's Revelation. Those. Oh yeah, right, okay. So getting that real quick, this Revelation chapter 3:21.
Yep, go ahead.
It says, "To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame, and am set down with my Father in his throne."
Yeah, and that's talk about the elect, okay? The elect, all right? And the 144,000, of course, the prophets who are going to be, the governing body. Or it's gonna be they're gonna be in rulership, all right, next to Yahushai, okay, because Yahushai was given the inheritance, all right, of the heathens, right, pretty much going into Yahushai. He's going to rule over the heathen nations, and you got people like Vocab that think that's wrong. Well, if you think that having a servant is wrong, then you against the scriptures, because time and time again, as the Israelites was ruling, they had servants, okay? Like in the time of King David. Can you give me 2 Samuel 8:14? Because this is just an example, all right? Because you got to understand that, in the kingdom of heaven, if the tabernacle of David, the throne of David is going to be established in the kingdom of heaven, what did that involve? Okay? It involved putting you damn heathens in slavery, man. All right, as servants. Okay, go ahead.
God, so it says 2 Samuel chapter 8 and 14, it says, then he put garrisons in Edom. Throughout all Edom he put garrisons, or slack. It says, put he garrisons. And all they of Edom became David's servants. And the Lord Yahweh preserved David whithersoever he went.
See? So that's what has to happen. Okay? And King David, you know, he's gonna be back in the kingdom ruling. Okay? So you don't think that's gonna happen again? He's gonna have the Edomites and all these other nations in slavery as servants?
Yeah. Hey, and keep in mind it said that the Lord Yahweh preserved David. It didn't say that Lord Yahweh, you know, punished David for putting Esau in slavery, and you know having Edomite servants, and yeah, that's what Yahweh Bashim Yahushai wanted King David to do. All right, that's what he was supposed to do. Okay, that's why you know when King David, after King David's rulership, you know when King Solomon was on the throne, all right, it was a time of peace for 40 years. Because King David completely subdued, you know, the heathen nations. They were servants. Okay, so imagine a rulership like that, you know, with King Solomon ruling, but it's an everlasting rulership, man. Okay, and even more so because, you know, we're gonna be in the kingdom of heaven. You know, hey, an Israelite, if you were Israelite, you will not be able to go off. Okay, the laws, they're gonna be written in our inward parts. All right, and in turn, we're gonna have that everlasting rulership. All right, and these other nations, you know, will be subject to go off, but they still have to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, because it's gonna be a kingdom built off of righteousness. All right, which the scriptures go into the law being perfect. Okay. Con. And when you get that word for preserved, it's the Hebrew word yashai, which means it says to save, to give victory to. It says to be saved in battle, be victorious. So, you know, hey, this goes to show, again, you know, having heathen servants is lawful for the Israelites. You know, so it's completely 100% lawful for us Israelites to have heathen servants. Yeah.
Not to mention, you know, you can find that in the law, right? You can find that in the law. It's when you go into the law. All right, it goes into having bondmen and servants and such. Okay, so if that's part of the law, how is that wrong? Okay, so you Christians like to pick and choose what you want to take from the Bible. Okay, you know, it's at one point the Old Testament is done away with. Then at one point, it wasn't talking about this and this and that. You know, you Christians go back and forth, man. All right. So you got it?
Yeah, Con. So this is Leviticus chapter 25, and so Leviticus chapter 25 and 44, it says, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you.
Ooh.
Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids.
Ooh, you see? So it's completely lawful for you to have slave servants of the heathen nations. Okay, and if the law is going to be fully established in the kingdom, all right, then what do you think is going to happen to these heathen nations under the nation of Israel? Okay, who the Lord was never dealing with, who the Lord never gave the laws, statutes, and commandments to. All right, the Lord was only dealing with the nation of Israel. Okay, and that just proves it. Okay. So, you could read that again.
Gone. So it says Leviticus chapter 25, and I'm going to get the NLT too after.
Go ahead.
It says Leviticus chapter 25 and 44, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids.
Bondmen and bondmaids, okay? When you seen an Israelite have a servant, handmaid, all right, you know, there was of the heathen nations, okay? You know, when Abraham, you know, before he had Isaac, you know, he had a son with his servant, you know, Hagar, his servant, who was a heathen, okay? Go ahead.
So this in NLT for Leviticus chapter 25 and 44. It says, however, you may purchase male and female slaves among the nations around you. See?
Yeah.
So we're allowed to have heathen slaves. And again, it goes to show you that and again, we can get the blessing that the Lord gave onto, or what ultimately that Isaac gave onto Jacob. You know, because Jacob supplanted Esau of that blessing.
Yeah, go ahead. We can get into it. All right, because that was like the main argument that Vocab had, even though he got destroyed by Tazariot. Okay, you know, saying that, oh, it's not right to have servants, slaves. You know, you gotta love your neighbor, which that's not talking about the heathen anyway. Okay, let's talk about fellow Israelites. All right.
So this is Genesis chapter 27 and 22. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and he said, that's like it says, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near, it says, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near, and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son, it is as the smell of a field which the Lord Yahweh hath blessed. So now it's going to go again. Yeah. So this is going to Jacob supplanting Esau. And ultimately, hey, this is what Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua set up.
That's what Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua wanted. This was always supposed to happen. You know, that it wasn't wicked or for Jacob to do that. He was simply following the will of the Heavenly Father. Okay? All right, yeah. Esau was never meant to get it. Esau was never meant to rule, to get the blessing. Okay, he was meant to rule for a certain period of time, right? All right, but the everlasting rulership, all right, the blessing, all right, that was given to Jacob. Not to mention, Esau also he sold the birthright as well. Okay, to Jacob. Okay. Showing you that Esau's not a man of the Lord at all, because what's about this thing that we in, it's about having faith, about having patience. Esau's the most carnal man on the planet Earth. That when he was hungry after a day of hunting, okay, you know, he just gave up his birthright just like that because he felt hungry. He felt hunger. All right, that's not a trait of a man of the Lord, man. All right, and that goes to show you that, you know, the Lord ain't dealing with Esau. The Lord ain't dealing with the Edomites. The Lord said he hates Esau. Okay?
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, so Esau was, you know, willing to literally give up his eternal birthright, you know, his eternal blessing just for, you know, just for what, a morsel of meat? Yeah, you know, a raw piece of meat?
A morsel of meat. And the scriptures go into that, Hebrews 12 and 16. That Esau sold his birthright for a morsel of meat, man. All right. So Esau had, and it goes into Esau finding no place of repentance too, I believe. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
So you know, it's no way that Esau can get that back. He can't get that birthright back. He can't get that blessing that he was supplanted out of. He can't get it. Okay. It's done. It's over with, man. All right. And there's plenty of scriptures we can read that goes into the judgment that these Edomites will have to go, that these Edomites will have to get, man. Okay, the whole book of Obadiah goes into the judgment that's gotta happen to Esau, Edom, man. All right, the book of Malachi, you read the book of Malachi, the first chapter, man. All right, it goes into the Lord's hate for Esau, man. All right, so it's nothing these Edomites can do. All right, you know, these Edomites try to cover up the truth. Okay, so say we the world, the Israelites, all right, try to you know, cover up everything that's happened in the past instead of this man being an Israelite. Oh, it was an Edomite. Okay, you know, all this different stuff is being revealed during this time, man. All right, this wicked kingdom is being uncovered, man. All right, and everybody seeing this man for what he is, and that's what's going to lead to his destruction. Okay.
Khan, yup, yeah, that's right. And so to continue onto Jacob's blessing, it says, therefore, so this Genesis chapter 27 and 28, therefore the Most High give thee like it says, therefore the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine, yeah, which represents, the wealth and riches upon the whole entire planet. That's what Jacob is going to receive.
Yep.
It says, let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. And cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. See?
Yep.
So the main point says, let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. So see, hey, ultimately it was set up for Jacob to rule over all nations, man.
Yep. Including his brother Esau, because we understand that Esau, who is Esau's nation? All right, the nation of Edom. All right, who does the Edomites involve? Okay, you got Amalek, the head tribe, and you got the others. All right. So pretty much the Lord ain't dealing with Esau. He's dealing with Jacob, and Jacob gonna have to be the ruler. Go ahead.
God. So to continue, it says Genesis chapter 27 and 30. It says, and it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet, just like I said, scarce, gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he said, just like it says, and he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless thee, or that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? I have eaten of all before thou camest, and I blessed him, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. Yeah, so Esau doesn't want to take, Esau's willing to give up his birthright.
Yep.
And now, and that's the spirit of the Edomites today. They don't want to take accountability, for the actions.
Yeah.
So now Esau's crying, like, why are you crying for? You gave up your birthright.
Yeah, you already gave up your birthright, man. All right. So now the Lord, like, hey, you don't need nothing, man. You don't need nothing else, man. All right. So you got that's why you got supplanted. All right. Esau, you a carnal man. All right.
Yeah. Right. So to continue, it says Genesis chapter 27 and 35, and he said, thy brother came with subtlety, or like it says, with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me of these 2 times. Just like it says, for he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing.
Yeah, you can get into that word Jacob, because he's like, oh, isn't his name Jacob? Well, because he knew that what did Jacob's name mean? All right, supplanter. All right, we can get into that. Go ahead.
So Jacob in the Hebrew, of course, is a Hebrew word Yaikwab, which means heel holder or supplanter.
Yeah, so there you go, heel holder or supplanter. So the Lord knew, ever since, before even they were born, that this was supposed to happen. Okay, that Jacob was supposed to supplant Esau out of his blessing. Okay, that Esau was supposed to sell his birthright unto Jacob. All right, this was always supposed to happen. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it also says heel catcher, i.e. supplanter. So hey, going back, it says Genesis chapter 27.
Which Jacob holding the heel, that represents the scripture where it goes in the Esau being the end of the world and Jacob being the beginning, right? Yeah. Because Esau, he was gonna have his rulership, his time to rule, and then it was gonna be Jacob, all right. And once Jacob rules, in the kingdom of heaven, all right, it's gonna be an everlasting rulership, all right. Esau the end of the world. Why is Esau the end of the world? All right. All you gotta do is wake up, look at the news, walk outside, see the type of world we living in, man. All right. Yeah. Completely against the scriptures. All right. And in turn, what has happened? All right. A world like this, everything is polluted, defiled. All right. Wickedness, all abound. Jake is the lowest of the low of all nations on the planet Earth, man. Okay. You got moles walking around. Our women being whores. Okay. Our people committing adultery. All right. Worshiping false idols. All right. Idolatry. All right. This place got to go, man. All right. So this is why this kingdom has to end. The Lord has to put His judgment upon this kingdom. Okay.
Yeah, Khan. So to real quick, get that scripture that you were referring to, or I believe you're referring to. It says 2 Ezra chapter 6 and 7. It says, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau." Yep. So that's exactly, that's in Genesis chapter 25.
Yeah.
It says, verse 9, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Yeah. So that's spiritual too, because again, Jacob is known as a supplanter, the heel holder. So pretty much Esau is going to be ruling for a certain time, and Jacob's right below Esau, ready to overtake his kingdom.
Yeah, and this is and that's the Lord's.
Or really, it's Yahweh Bashmi Shai, or of course, Yahweh Shai coming back to overtake Esau and destroy the other nations, and to set up to set up Jacob over Esau.
Yeah.
It says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." See, so, Jacob is up next. Esau was up for a certain time. Esau is still up, and his end is very, very soon, and Jacob is coming up to rule next.
Yep. Jacob coming up to rule next. So, and that's why we preaching the downfall of this kingdom, because we know what's bound to happen. Okay, we seeing the signs of the Lord's return. Okay, and we filtering things that's going on in the news in the world, filtering it through the scriptures. All right, aligning it with the prophecies according to the Bible. Okay, giving the right breakdowns. Okay, not selling out or anything like that. All right, the Lord, that's who the Lord is dealing with. Those who is sincerely coming out here to tell our people to repent. Okay, but at the end of the day, we understand that the Lord is only dealing with a remnant. Okay, going into the Lord's elect on this side. Okay, the Lord ain't dealing with the whole nation right now, man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So going back to Genesis chapter 27, and Genesis chapter 27 and 37. It says, "And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Yeah. So, and that's the current time period that we're in right now. Esau has the fatness of the earth. Esau has all the resources. Okay. He has all the resources around the world. He's taken it from the other nations. All right, and how has he done that? Through his sword. All right, through his technology. All right, and that's a part of the blessing. You get Ezekiel 28. Ezekiel 28, and we can start at 1. Ezekiel 28, because that goes into the blessing, a part of the blessing that Esau was giving. All right, him being as wise as Daniel. All right, or wiser than Daniel. All right, and how has he done that? All right, through his sword. All right, through his technology, through his left-handed, his deceitfulness. Okay, we understand that Esau, he's that serpent. Okay, a serpent is wise. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it says Ezekiel chapter 28 and 1. The word of the Lord Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, and sit in the sea of God, and in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not the Most High.
Yeah, so this is actually going into Esau. Okay, Esau, now that he's at the level that he's at. All right, good. Now Esau, now that he's at the level that he's at, all right, he's not concerned with because Esau he got the everything. All right, anything Esau this Edomite can get, all right, he can get it. All right, he has all the resources, he has everything. Now what's left for Esau? All right, nothing else excites him but having absolute power. All right, absolute power over these people. All right, put in a C-hip MOTB inside of you and be able to track everything that you do, control everything that you do. All right, and that's Esau's ultimate goal. All right, he wants to be like the Most High. Okay, go ahead.
Come on. It says, and thou hast said, I am a God, and sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not the Most High, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Yeah. It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. Yeah, and again, Esau, the amount of knowledge that Esau has been able to get, the type of research and studies that he's been able to do, he himself literally thinks that he's the Most High himself, man, because he's able to make these so-called deep discoveries, which really, if you really think about it, it's just surface level discoveries. Hey, compared to what Yahweh Shemi is going to reveal very soon onto us servants, onto his servants, onto the elect of the nation of Israel. Esau doesn't know nothing, man. But it's just in this current world that we're in, in these current bodies. Again, pretty much, again, Esau is in his blessing, so he's gonna pretty much he's gonna search out, pretty much what the limits of the flesh.
Yeah, and that's the problem with these damn devils, man. All right, enough is never enough, man. All right, here you got Esau. You got this cellular device, track everything that you do, know everything that you like to do. All right, know everything about your history and things of that nature. You got cameras everywhere on every block. Okay, Esau, is already, Esau has the power of seeing pretty much everything, but it's never enough for this damn devil, man. All right, he wants complete control. Okay, he wants to put that C-hip in you, man. All right, to having you eat these certain foods that can make you think a certain type of way, taking you to these different schools to indoctrinate you and have you think a certain type of way, so you can be a worker and be a slave in Esau's society. All right, Esau put the Israelites in slavery. All right, and it's not in a wicked way. All right, the type of stuff that Esau has done, to the nation of Israel, Gadites, northern kingdom. All right, Judah, southern kingdom. All right, he keeps going further and further with it. All right, go ahead.
Con. It says, Ezekiel chapter 28 and 4, without wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures.
And that's a part of Esau's blessing as well. Okay, having that wise left hand knowledge. Okay, going into his riches. All right, when Esau came, and got the Native Americans, okay? You know, at first it wasn't easy, but then, you know, Esau came up with certain things, certain weapons, you know, like the Gatling gun, okay? Because Esau has that left-hand knowledge, all right? Another thing, what's Esau's ultimate weapon, though? All right, them missiles, all right, the nuclear bombs, okay, them ICBM nuclear missiles, all right, and that's how a way of Esau to show his dominance, right, over in this world, right. What did he do to Japan? Okay, you know, these other nations is looking at that, and they don't want nothing to do with that. They don't have that type of technology that Esau came up with. All right. So further and further, you know, Esau is advancing. What's the next new hot topic? All right, you got AI, man. You know, the artificial intelligence. All right, the type of stuff AI knows. You know, you can go in, you know, type certain things about. You could get an essay done. All right, you know, whatever you look for, you can have conversations. You can have a conversation with an AI that's impersonating another person, all right? Pretty much acting like they're this person. You know, have your cadences, you know, however accent you speak, all right? Whatever certain phrases that you use, all right? This is the type of technology that Esau has, all right? Showing that that left hand being wise on the left hand side, right?
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, and you know, also, of course, we're at the end, or you know, we're literally at the end of this American empire. You know, Elder Apostle Dahar just did a video about how you know, empires. The average span of an empire is 250 years, and right now, currently, we're at the 248th year of, you know, since America was established, 1776. Yep. So. Hey, you know, of course, and what we're already at that time where these other nations, as the scriptures say, let the weak say I'm strong. You know, their plowshares are turning, or let me get that real quick to not butcher it, but that's Joel chapter 3 and 10. It says, beat your plowshares. We're going to start on 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Be your plowshares and the swords, and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Yeah, so now these other nations, you know, because it's not like before when, you know, pretty much America was at the top. They had their, you know, the atomic bomb. Of course, now we're at the point where Russia, China, Iran, they all have, their own, you know, nuclear arsenal now.
Yeah, thousands.
Yeah, thousands. Hypersonic missiles, man, that are you can't stop you.
Exactly. So now, you know, it's not coming to a point where, you know, America can just simply, you know, have their way. Now they gotta consider, you know, these other nations. You know, they can't just go in take over a nation, because they understand that these other nations have certain you know, covenants, you know, with countries like Russia and such. All right, because they know that. And you got Israel, who wants to you know, do a full-on retaliation against Iran, and if that happens, you know, Russia gonna have to step in. Okay, and once that happens, America definitely gonna have to step in, and that's gonna be the start of World War III, which is coming very, very soon.
Yeah, I just did a video about, you know, the North Korea. They sent 12,000 troops.
Yeah, that happened. Yep.
Yeah, you know, they sent 12,000 troops to Russia to, you know, aid in the war against Ukraine. And, you know, obviously the NATO members are gonna have to step in, you know, to help Ukraine, man, because they sending 12,000 troops from North Korea to Russia. Hey, you know, that's nothing, you know, to take lightly.
Yeah, hey, it's nothing to take lightly. So that just goes to show you that, you know, these other nations are gathering together, you know, and preparing for the conflict, because, you know, these different nations, you know, they know that, you know, the World War III, all right, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. All right, that's why they're preparing. All right, for this to happen. All right. And we just waiting on Esau, like, hurry up and make this happen. Hurry up and push the MOTB. Hurry up and have World War III start, because that's the closer that happens, the closer it is for Yahweh Shah to come back. All right, and it take down everything. All right, everything that Esau has built up. All right, it ain't gonna be nothing, man. All right, Esau gonna be the lowest of the low. All right.
Yep. So, you want to go back to Ezekiel 28?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little more. It says, it's Ezekiel chapter 28 and 5. It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches.
Yeah, by thy wisdom and by thy traffic, thou hast increased thy wisdom. Traffic going into...
No, thou hast increased thy riches.
Thy riches. So thou hast increased thy riches. You know, traffic, like, it's not really talking about just, you stuck on the interstate I-95. No, it's talking about, his business, which you want to be technical. Traffic does involve business, because you're going to and from businesses, gas station, from work, this, that, and the third. All right, and Esau has built up these major mega corporations and such. These different banks, the Federal Reserve. Okay, these different the top of the top, these top different companies, Fortune 500 companies. Who's the majority that rules them? All right, Esau. Amalek. Okay, so that's going into Esau, the way he increased his riches, having the modern person, working 9-to-5 job for all these hours, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, while Esau's just at the top, getting everything from pretty much getting all the riches, while you working for pennies, for nothing.
Yeah, okay? And of course, these other nations use America as a whore to get rich, and even America, they're receiving tons of imports, from these other countries. Yeah. So and of course, also America's getting cheap labor overseas from China or wherever it be at.
Going into the Middle East, taking all the fossil fuels and such, man, taking all their resources. Esau gotta have a hand in everything. Every affair, every transaction, these different nations has. Esau gotta have a part of it, a percentage of it, have a tax on it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I got the word for traffic in the Hebrew. It says rakala, meaning merchandise or trade.
Yeah, merchandise or trade. So that's going into Esau's different businesses, okay? All right, and Esau pretty much has put himself in a position, buying out these certain small companies. All right, buying out all these different people's businesses that's doing well, and taking it unto himself. All right. So there you go.
So to read again, it says to finish it off, it says Ezekiel chapter 28 and 5. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. Yep. They shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Yeah, and Esau's known as Lucifer, right?
God, yep. The elites.
Yeah.
Top, yeah.
Yeah, which of course, within the Hebrew, all Lucifer goes to the word Hayalal, which pretty much means the enlightened one. The light bearer, light bearer. Esau is known again. That's why it says, and they shall defile thy brightness. It's because Esau is at the top. Esau, the so-called white man, he's the one who's looked at as the pinnacle of, I don't know, just of life, or of living. His way of lifestyle, and his people. They're at the pinnacle, and they're at the top.
Yeah, and and Esau has that influence upon the people. Like, you got the so-called your European beauty standard. You want to go in. Esau wants you to go into his businesses, have the clean, shaven face, and having a suit and a tie, and just his own, basically just looking like the Edomite. Okay.
Yeah. Edomite spirit. Like, hey,
having
how you
that
doing,
Edomite spirit, man.
Yeah.
Talking like Esau, doing things like Esau, trying to look like Esau.
Yeah, making corny small jokes like Esau, like.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I believe that's it right there. Or we can read this. It says, "They shall bring thee down." Ezekiel. It says, verse 10. "They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas."
Yeah, you're gonna be brought down to the pit. Meaning what? Down to the grave. All right, you're gonna be brought down to a lower state. It could also mean that as well, which that's what's gonna happen to the Edomite. All right, the same way that we the lowest of the low in this kingdom, Esau gonna be the lowest of the low in the kingdom of heaven, man. He gonna be lower than we are right now. All right, he's gonna be even lower than that. All right, because the amount of power that Esau has right now, man. Hey, the average Israelite is gonna have the infinite times more power than that.
Yeah. The lowest of all Israelites.
Yep.
The most wicked of our people. They're gonna be richer than the greatest Rothschild.
Yeah,
the whole entire Rothschild family, and the whole entire international banking family. I guess you can say net worth. Just their entire everything they have gotten since they started their rule. Hey, the smallest Israelite is gonna have more than that.
Yeah, man.
The least of all Israelites.
The scriptures go into my father's house has many mansions. An Israelite just go have a planet to himself, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's already you got a whole planet to yourself, man.
Yeah, and what? Immortality in itself is greater than any riches, man. Being able to live forever and also having a new perfect body where you won't be able to sin anymore. You won't be able to, you won't feel any pain anymore. Just get sick. You're gonna be 100% perfect and righteous.
Yeah.
So that right there is better than any type of riches that this place can get you. When I say this place, I'm referring on to Babylon and Great and this current world that we're in.
And that's why we don't care about that's why we don't have cares of this world. We're not worried about the treasures of this world, man. All right, where moth corrupteth, right? Because we understand that all this stuff that we see, it's gonna be destroyed. All right. This place that we standing on right now, man, it's gonna be completely blown to smithereens, man. It's gonna completely be nothing, waste. It's gonna be on fire, man. It's gonna be desolate, okay? And it's gonna be uninhabited. All right.
Yep.
So you got anything?
Yeah, I got the word for pit.
Go ahead.
Within Hebrew, it says shachath, and it says la shachath, so to the pit. So it says the Hebrew word is shachath, which means destruction, grave, corruption. Yeah, it also says ditch. Yeah, so that's what shachath means, destruction.
Yep.
So they're gonna bring Esau is gonna be brought down to destruction.
Yeah.
Along with his greatest country, which is America.
God, along with Babylon the Great. All right.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, all heathen are going to be brought down. Of course, Yahweh Shemashah is going to use other nations to shoot their nuclear arsenal upon Babylon the Great. And of course, what Yahweh Shah is going to be aiding in the destruction by sending his chariots to emit the high concentrated fire, as it says in 2 Ezra chapter 13. That the chariots have the ability to emit energy. What is plasma mixed with the flaming breath and tempest, or that's pretty much what it is. Just a flaming breath, fire, and tempest. Or I can bring out what exactly what it said, but hey, that's what's coming upon Babylon and Great. But hey, right there, Yahushua, it's not like Yahushua is just gonna let the other nations rule. China's gonna come up next.
Just let them go.
Yeah,
it's not just gonna be the other nations are the Lord's gonna use the other nations to destroy this place. All right, and then they just gonna be good. No, they have a judgment as well. They have a lot to pay for as well. And not to mention, then they're not the chosen. Then they're not the chosen people. All right, the Israelites are the chosen people. All right, the Lord ain't dealing with Ham. All right, which we're not the Hamites. Okay, we're the Israelites. All right, we come from Shem. All right, so it's a difference. He's not dealing with Ammon, Moab. Okay, he's dealing with the seed of the promise. All right, which are only the Israelites. Okay, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth.
Yeah, Khan. So it says, 2nd Negroes chapter 13 and 11, or 12 and 10, it says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. And of course, this going into Yahushua commanding his army to emit, as it said flaming breath, or it said blast of fire, the flaming breath, and great tempest, and all that is mixed together, man. So imagine what type of energy, output that can create. So hey, and what for the armies that are gonna try to come against Yahushua and his angels, again, they're gonna be completely vaporized by this by the chariot's weapon.
Yep. Con.
Gone. So
what we just was that in Genesis 27?
I think let me see.
Because that was it. We can go back to Isaiah 14.
Well, no, it is a little bit more.
All right, go ahead.
It says, so Genesis chapter 27, 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and said Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob.
Yeah, so Esau once wanted to slay his brother Jacob. All right, and we know what, and that's what Esau wants to do. Currently Esau, he still has that grudge against Jacob, against the Israelites, because of what happened, because we took the birthright. All right, or because he sold the birthright to us, and we supplanted him out of his blessing. All right, Esau made us the lowest of the low because he still feels some type of way about that. Whether they know it or not. Which of course we know that the top Edomites, they know what's going on. All right, but even then, the average. That's why even the average Edomite has hatred towards an Israelite. Okay, because deep down they know that their forefather wanted to slay Jacob, wanted to was supplanted out of that blessing. Okay.
Yep, Khan. Right. So yeah, I believe that was it. Or let's see. It says, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So good. Go back to Isaiah 14 and 2.
Khan. So Isaiah chapter 14, or we can just go at the top. It says, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Of course, the strangers is going into the Israelite foreigners who have been scattered amongst these other nations.
Yeah, because you have vocab trying to get what was it, Leviticus 19, I believe. Saying that going into the law concerning the stranger. What I was talking about an Israelite. Like a good example of a stranger, because a stranger is talking about really an Israelite that wasn't born in the land of Israel, all right, during that time, all right. And a good example, which we can get that Moses' son being a Midianite, okay. What was his name? All right, Gershom, all right. So we can get that real quick. And you can get in when you read that, you can get into go into that name Gershom, which goes back to Gar, which in the Hebrew it goes into stranger.
So this is Slovakia. It says so this is Exodus chapter 18 and 3, or we can start at verse 1. It says, when Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that the Most High had done for Moses and for Israel his people, and that the Lord Yahweh had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her two sons, which of the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land.
Ooh, there you go, an alien in a strange land, because for Gershom, that's actually an Israelite, all right, of the tribe of Levi, all right, and they called him a stranger, an alien, because he wasn't born in the land of Israel. He was born in a different land. Okay, so you can get that word for Gershom.
Gone. So it says Gershom within the Hebrew. It's a Garasham, or Garsham, or not Garasham, which means foreigner.
Yeah, foreigner. See? So pretty much, he will be considered what? An Israelite foreigner, which that's who in the New Testament that they're mainly talking about, is mainly talking about the Israelites when you go into a Gentile, which a Gentile would be an Israelite foreigner. Okay.
Yeah, and when you get the root word is Garashwan, or Garashwan, which means exile.
Exile. Yeah, there you go. Because in the law, what is an exile? When you exile, when someone is exiled out the land, when they leave the land, okay. So pretty much, if there was an Israelite foreigner that wanted to, come back, all right, they would have certain rights, onto which tribe they were. So they would go back to their forefathers, who the lineage came from. If the forefather was, let's say, he was a Judite, for example, all right, he would get a certain portion of land, okay, because he could prove and go back to his lineage. Oh, I'm the son of this man, the son of this, So there you go. That was only involving, Israelites, okay, not the heathen nations.
Yeah. No. Here. So it says exile within the dictionary, the state of being barred from one's native country. Or it says a person who lives away from their native country, either from choice or compulsion.
There you go, either from choice or compulsion. All right. So some Israelites, they would leave the land maybe to do business or such. All right. It wasn't always because they would be barred from the land. They'll go out, do certain business. May have a son with a heathen woman. All right, and that he would the son would be an Israelite, and then if he came back to the nation of Israel, he will be considered a stranger. He will be considered an Israelite foreigner, as we just read with Moses' son Gershom. Okay.
Yep, Khan. So going back to Isaiah chapter 14, it says, and one, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. See, so the Israelite foreigners are going to come back onto Israel. And in a sense, we're all Israelite foreigners because we're not in our land.
Yeah.
You know, so ultimately, Yahweh Shem Shai is going to bring us all back onto the land of Israel, and you know, to take down everybody who's there. You know, Esau, obviously he's ruling now they call it the state of Israel, but you know, the point is that there's heathen in our land. So Yahushua is going to come back, and of course Israel, the land of Israel, is going to have to be purified and burned by fire. Yep. Like America is going to be burned by fire. Only difference is that Israel is going to be restored, and America is going to become a desert after that fire cools down, that nuclear fire.
Yep.
So it says Isaiah chapter 14:2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Yeah, so there you go. Why does it say that? All right, because if you have servants and handmaids and slaves, all right, that's not a bad thing. All right. So long, yeah, but so long.
Watch out. So be right there.
Yeah. So
I think
So in the kingdom, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna have slaves. All right, we're gonna have servants. All right, and you got idiots like vocab that's saying that the Lord ain't dealing with that. That the Lord wouldn't sanction the Israelites having slaves, having servants of these different heathen nations.
He's a revisionist. He don't like going through those scriptures.
Yeah,
all those scriptures.
Yeah.
He run away from
Isaiah
those.
14 and
Isaiah 66.
Isaiah 60. He said it wasn't talking about people with Isaiah 60.
Yeah,
you know, that didn't even make any sense.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, Esau is at the point, or, you know, he's at the level, I get the level where you know, he can say, you know, apparently
what did he say? Man?
Yeah, you know, he's the one who has authority. And, you know, and what, even Vocab Malone, when I believe he's going to the 10 horns or like the beast or something, he literally said that he didn't have the answer. You know, when he was pretty much doing a breakdown, and you know, he was coming up on Elder Yashuamba's comment board, you know, basically talking his mess. But hey, he doesn't even have the answer. So, you know, him not giving an answer and saying he doesn't know is better than us actually breaking it down.
Yeah, and if you don't have the answer, then you're not a prophet. That's something that you should know. If you claim to be a prophet, then something like that you should know it. You should know the breakdown.
He don't even know like 10% of it. He said he don't know. He don't know like the gist of it, like the premise around it. He said he don't know. So he's a damn fool. Look at him alone. And he's a racist too. So the Lord gonna deal with him in due time, Yahweh Shai, not Christ. All right. There you go.
Yep, Khan. So this Isaiah chapter 14 and 2, to read it again, then to go to verse to keep on going. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house
in bondage.
Yep.
They're gonna be in chains. They're gonna get their ass kicked, get smacked upside the top of the head, thrown around, get bullied. Go ahead.
God says, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids.
Yep, possess. Look up possession.
Console possess. It's a Hebrew word. It says nachal. So the full word is wahatha nachal, or wahatha nachalwam. It's like, that's a long word. Well, going back to the root word nachal, which means to get or it says to acquire, inherit, to have or get as possession or property. It also says to be allotted, and it says it says take as a heritage, distribute for, to divide. So the point is that
they're going to be distributed and divided amongst the tribes of Israel.
Yep.
Servants and handmaids.
Yeah.
Simple as that. That's what the Lord Yahweh told Isaiah. So it can't be disallowed or changed or altered. All right.
Exactly.
And when Isaiah said that, he was saying that in the spirit that the Son, what, Isaiah 11, was going to reign. Isaiah 11, Yahushua is going to reign. So Isaiah was saying that in the presence, in the with Yahushua being the headmaster.
Yep.
Like in England, you got headmasters.
Yeah.
So it's not separate from Yahushua. That's what these fake Christians try to say. Oh, but when Yahushua, the Lord came, Christ Jesus came, it changed everything. No, when Isaiah said it, he was saying that with Yahushua as his head. All right, because Isaiah already had visions about Yahushua. All right, he would, and Yahushua never told him that the heathen were talking about that were going to be justified. We're talking about people that were not Israelites. The heathen that were going to be justified are the Israelites that were lost their religion, lost their heritage, lost the customs of the Israelites, of their brothers and fathers. All right, and then they came back. Right? So Isaiah wasn't saying it separate from the salvation of Yahushua, because Isaiah already knew about the Lord. All right, you ignorant assholes. Yeah. Isaiah already knew about Yahushua. You can read it in
you can read it in the book.
In his books. So he was saying that including Yahushua taking away the sins of Israel. Mm-hmm. He already said in Isaiah the 1st chapter that the sacrifice is going to be taken away, animal sacrifice. And then his father revealed in his father prophecies that Yahushua was going to be our propitiation for our sins. So Isaiah wasn't saying anything that was incomplete when he made the prophecy that he received from the Most High. When he made the prophecy about the heathen going into slavery, it was a complete prophecy, which included Yahushua's salvation, and which includes the destruction of the Gentiles, the actual Gentiles going into slavery under the Israelites, and the Messiah recovering Israel. It's all included in Isaiah's prophecy. So when you read Isaiah the 14th chapter, that's not an amended prophecy, like Isaiah didn't have the understanding of the Messiah recovering the Israelites. If Isaiah had the understanding of the Lord, the Messiah's second coming, then he would have surely received the prophecy about the Israelites, or the heathen, the actual heathen, converting into being Israelites. All right? He wouldn't have made that statement about the heathen going into slavery. He wouldn't have made that statement. So he made that statement because he was recording like he's slick. The red car.
Strong.
They left. She ain't on me. Go crazy. Like,
oh, it's still it's still on.
Davo Ra. That's how you say it in the Hebrew. Yeah, Dabo Ra. It's Deborah or Dabo Ra, like that's for B.
Yeah, so so according to him, the Bible contradicts itself. So read another precept.
Gone. So it says, Isaiah chapter 11 and 1, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots, and the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord Yahweh.
Yeah, and this goes for all the prophets, all right, that received visions about the destruction, the coming. They knew about the Israelites being recovered, that lost our religion, so to speak, all right, and the Messiah. Now read Isaiah the 1st chapter. There's more in it, right?
Yeah.
I'll read Isaiah the 1st chapter too.
Gone. So it says, verse 3, and it says, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord Yahweh, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth.
Yeah, all of us have to judge like carnally. You know, we got the spirit with us, but Yahushua is completely spiritual, even though he was in the flesh. So his judgment was more accurate because he knew your thoughts. He's our creator. His judgment was more excellent than a normal man's judgment. Right? And he wasn't biased. He could clearly see. You know, we're clouded. We see through a glass darkly, but Yahushua can see clearly when he make his judgments. What?
Gone. So it says, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And Khan. It says, and he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. So getting that word for equity within the Hebrew, it's a Hebrew word, Maya-shawar.
And those are the prophecies, because the prophecy is going to come, and it come to pass, and the heathen and 2/3 of Israel are going to be destroyed. Go ahead. Equity.
Khan. So it's a Hebrew word, Maya, or says Maya-shawar, which means level place, uprightness. It says plain, so uprightness. And of course that goes back to the Hebrew word yashar, which means to be upright. So
Judgment, equity, right?
yeah,
Equity.
yeah, Khan. So it goes back to the root word yashar, which means to be right, be straight, be level, be just, be lawful. Yeah, and it says, yeah, so yeah, that's the point. So to be upright and to be just, that's what equity is going into. Gone. So it says, Isaiah chapter 11 and 5, and righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. So yeah, that's the point.
Isaiah the first chapter.
Gone.
He said he's going to reject the sacrifice. So the prophets knew about Yahushua.
So this is Isaiah chapter 1 and 10. Hear the word of Lord Yahweh, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our power, ye people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, said the Lord Yahweh? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams, and of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he-goats. When you come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hateth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yeah, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. It says, wash you, make you clean. Put away the evil doings, or so like it says, put away the evil of your doings before mine eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widow. Console says, verse 18, come now.
The whole head is sick. Did you read that already? So the Lord said through Isaiah that the Most High, that he's not going to accept our sacrifice anymore.
Oh yeah, it was a little. So it says, Isaiah chapter 1 and 4, it says, all sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of, it says, evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. It says, why should he be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. It says, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises. And it says, and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment.
Yeah, so you can't obtain righteousness by animal sacrifice anymore. It's impossible. So therefore, you can't obtain righteousness by keeping the law perfectly. It's impossible. Putrefying sores is a sore, a wound that won't heal. Even if you put ointment on it or bandage it up or take herbs and medicine, it will never heal. All right? So you can't be saved by the acts, the works of the law. You got to be saved by faith, and if you have to be of the elect. Yahushua is our propitiation for our sins. Go ahead.
It says, Isaiah chapter 1 and 7, your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. And a daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, or a vineyard, and as like it says, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. Except the Lord Yahweh of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
Yep, you have an elect, a small amount of people. And some of them, weren't of the elect, because the Lord said, the Lord going to do the sifting at the end. So you had some elect mixed with the unelect. All right, and at the proper time, the elect are going to be sifted from all the wicked Israelites and the rest of the nations. Go ahead.
God, so it says, Isaiah chapter 1 and 10, it says, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our power, ye people of Gomorrah.
God, you go over right there. All right, yeah, so that's it. So Isaiah compared our ancestors to heathens. Okay? That's why the Lord said he was going to justify the heathen from faith. Those are the Israelites. All right? Not some actual heathens. All right, read that verse again.
God, so it says, Isaiah chapter 1 and 10, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, ye rulers of Sodom. Give ear unto the law of our power, ye people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Lord Yahweh? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams, and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he-goats. When ye come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot weigh with. It is iniquity, even a solemn meeting.
All right, you go right there. All right, there you go. So the sacrifice is not being accepted. All right, so if you don't have Yahweh Shai, then I mean you have to keep the whole law perfectly. So if you're able to keep the whole law perfectly, then you can be saved. Because there's no sin. It will be impossible for you to die and for you to ever commit a sin if you keep the whole law perfectly. All right. Now we could never do that. That's why we had the sacrifices set up. All right. So there is no animal sacrifice anymore. So you need Yahweh Shai. You can't keep the laws to obtain righteousness, because Yahweh Shai is our propitiation, is our our bodies, because our bodies are subject to sin. So there's no way we can be perfect. But if it was possible for us to be perfect, like never commit a sin, then we wouldn't need Yahweh Shai. But that has never been a fact. That's why the animal sacrifice was set up in the first place, so for forgiveness of sins.
Yep.
So the Lord, right there, Isaiah the first chapter, Isaiah is revealing that he took he rejected he was going to reject it in the near future, the animal sacrifice. That's why the so-called Jays don't even animal sacrifice anymore. You look it up, they act like they don't know when they stop animal sacrificing. Because y'all not the real Israelites. Y'all was never animal sacrificing to the Most Yahweh. Y'all was worshiping demons and devils. Alright? The so-called Jays were never worshiping, sacrificing to Yahweh Shai. Except when they were forced converted. During the time of John Hyrcanus, that was one of the first times they converted. During got other heathens during the time of the Assyrians and Babylonians that came into the land. Then they were probably doing sacrifices, Not with the Levites though. The Levites wasn't sacrificing; they were doing their own stuff. They would have to go to the Levite because they didn't know how to sacrifice. The Levite, when the Levites came down, they taught them, how the laws of the land. But I highly doubt, there's no record of it, that the Levites taking a sacrifice for heathens and sacrificing it to Yahweh for the forgiveness of sins, because they had no forgiveness of sins. Now, that's not recorded, but the Levites did come down to tell them to keep them within a certain framework of the laws of the land. But the animal sacrifice, the heathen never sacrificed animals to Yahweh. There's no record of that. All right, but matter of fact, get that spirit when the Levite came down. The lions were destroying some of the the Hamites. I believe it was Hamites there. And the Levite came down, taught them about the laws of the land. And so they wouldn't get destroyed. Basically, you had animals terrorizing villages where heathens was dwelling in our land. All right. then they sought after somebody that could save them. Then the Levite came down and said, because the Lord wanted them to stay in that land. That was our punishment. If the Lord didn't want them there, the Lord Yahweh wouldn't have brought a Levite down there to keep them, get them in some sort of order. All right. Now they wasn't perfect because they were still heathens, but they got into enough order where they could live in somewhat peace without the beast coming up against them. All right.
Gone. So it says 2 Kings chapter 17
and this goes hand in hand with the Samaritans, the Samaria. Yeah, heathens and Israelites dwelling together, just like the time he's reading right now. So you had a mixture of Israelites and heathens living in this land.
So
living in Israel.
Gone. So it says 2 Kings chapter 17 and 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from it says Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. It says, and so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there, that they feared not the Lord Yahweh. Therefore the Lord Yahweh sent lions among them, which slew some of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically it was like a demon terrorizing the area, so they had to go find like a hero to save the village. You know, they make movies about that type of stuff. All right, then they hire like a hunter, like a vampire hunter, you know, or like a general or a leader that can deliver the village with the terror, you know.
Or it'll be like, or sometimes it'll be like, oh, it's a prophecy, or like, you know, it'll be like, oh, this guy was prophesied to come in and take care of whatever the threat or the villain was too.
Yeah. They put that in these movies.
Yeah. Gone. So it says 2 Kings chapter 7. It's like it says 2 Kings chapter 17 and 25. It says, and so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord Yahweh. Therefore the Lord Yahweh sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the Lord, or it says of the power of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the Most High of the land. It says, then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the Most High of the land. It says, then one of the priests whom it says they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and came, just like it says, and taught them how they should fear the Lord Yahweh.
Yeah, and they were probably sacrificing too, because I'm sure the Levite told them about the animal sacrifice. But and it's up to them. They sacrificed. Well, and what the Lord did, that didn't make them Israelites. All right, but it made them. It made the Lord have mercy on them, because the Lord wanted them to populate that land, to put us to shame. That was our punishment. All right, you had actual heathens in there that were dwelling in our land. All right, and while we were deporting. All right, so if they did sacrifice, that may have appeased the Lord's anger, but it didn't make them Israelites. All right, because it clearly tells you, like we just read in Isaiah the 14th chapter, that they're going into slavery. All right, they're going to be servants and handmaids, and that's how it's been from the beginning. All right, what else? Leviticus 25, it tells you that.
Gone. Yeah, and also the scriptures say, though hand join hand in hand, you know, basically paraphrasing, the wicked will not be unpunished. Yeah. So, you know, it doesn't matter. And ultimately, the heathen aren't going to repent, you know, to Yahweh Bashim
They can anyway. They can do animal sacrifices.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm saying, they probably did animal sacrifices. But that doesn't, the Lord already rejected the animal sacrifice. That's the thing. All right. So if the Lord rejected the animal sacrifice from the Israelites, he damn sure not going to accept it for forgiveness of sins for a heathen.
Yeah.
Right? So if they sacrifice, hey, it's only doing minimal appeasement. All right, because the Levite did teach them the law of the land. All right, and one of the law of the land was sacrifice. All right, so that appeased the Lord's anger, but they're still going into slavery because the prophecies continue to say so. All right, we can read quite a few. Well, give me when the Lord said that. You got more on that? Give me when I believe that said for salvation is of the Jews. Type that in, it'll come right up. For salvation is of the Jews. And read that whole event that happened. That's the Samaria. When he said our fathers worship in this mountain or in this hill.
Yeah.
So you know what we worship. Go ahead. Let's read the whole spirit.
Yeah.
When it came to it.
So this is the book of John 4, and we can start at 18. John 4 and 18. Or 17. For the woman answered and said, I have no husband.
Yeah, you gotta go out farther now.
Brother.
Start the 5th verse.
John 4 and 5. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Yahushua therefore, being weary with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahushua saith unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were going away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans.
Right, she was actual heathen, one of those. Look up those countries that you read in Second Kings. Sepharvaim, Babylon, Assyrians.
Khan. It says, yeah, so from 2 Kings chapter 17 and 24, it says, yeah, from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim.
Hamath, like Turkey. Look up Sepharvaim.
So it says, yeah, Sepharvaim, it says, yeah, in the Hebrew it's Sapar, it says Sapar Wayim, which means a city in Syria conquered by the kings of Assyria. It says perhaps near the modern
Syrians,
Mossad.
Aram. All right, so Aram. So you had different nations that were in West Asia today, it's called West Asia, that were dwelling in the land of Israel, and they were dwelling in the area of Samaria. You got a map here. Samaria, I believe, like Ephraim and Manasseh, right? So that's where so above the Dead Sea, Mount Gerizim. That's Samaria. So it's like, I wish I had like an overlay. So you got Judea, got Idumea, Judea, Samaria. Samaria is above Judea. So that's where the heathen were dwelling at, mingled among other Israelites. Because certain Israelites stayed to tend to the land and bring back tribute to King of Syria, the king of Babylon. The Assyrians absorbed the Babylonian kingdom. All right, so I go back and read the account, the heathens talking.
Yep. This is John 4 and 10. Yahushua answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of Yahweh, who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself and his children and his cattle?
I mean, he would have gave her information, not that she's going to be saved. All right? Because the Lord about to solidify. All right? He about to tell you what it's about. The living water was the knowledge. All right? And she would have known that. Even though he gonna tell her anyway, Yahweh Shai is being dramatic because he gonna tell her.
Yeah.
All right? He did give her the living water. He's going go ahead, read it.
Yep. John 4:13. Yahweh Shai answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. The woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahweh Shai said unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahweh Shai said unto her,
Yeah, they can't get it right, so they weren't even doing it the right way. All right? So you can't divorce. You can't you switching from man to man as a woman.
Yep.
What?
Verse 17, the woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahweh Shai said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou hast is not thy husband, and that sayest thou truly.
That's why the Lord said he'll judge not after the sight of the eyes, all right, but in righteousness. What?
Verse 19, the woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Yahweh Shai said unto her,
Yeah, because you're supposed to worship, come to the feast every year. Or 3 times a year you put the appear before the priest. All right? She wasn't doing that because she's not an Israelite. She continued to worship in that mountain because she's not an Israelite. So she was just like she was simulating the best she could do that the Levite taught. All right? And they didn't come to Jerusalem to worship because she couldn't, her lineage couldn't be ratified, couldn't be verified.
Yep.
All right, because she's not an Israelite. So as soon as she would come, she would have to verify her lineage. But she would say, "Oh no, we worship up in Samaria. They ain't gonna fly. You a heathen. They already know that the heathens are dwelling up there in Samaria. All right, and you got Israelites mingled among them." Yep.
verse 21, Yahweh Shai said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father.
So he prophesied and said, "You ain't gonna be worshiping here no more. You're a damn heathen. You're not gonna be worshiping here no more. All right, right now you're in simulation. You're simulating an Israelite." Good.
Verse 22, ye worship ye know not what.
Sorry, excuseful one at that, because she was worshiping Samaria, and she already knew that she's supposed to worship in Jerusalem. So she told Yahweh Shai that. Good.
Verse 22, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship.
She was confused. She ain't have it all together because she's not an Israelite. As a facsimile of the real McCoy, you can only get it but so much right. Like the so-called Jays, they can't even get it right. They can only get it but so much right. They may be able to speak the Hebrew better than us, or their dialect of Hebrew better than us. You know, have access to certain books and materials that we don't got access to, that we'll never see until Yahweh Shai reveal. You know, but they're not the Israelites. They cover their head. Where the hell did that come from? They wasn't even covering their head I believe we looked it up before. That's something recent. So we're in the Khan Yam. Yeah, that's something recent.
Yeah.
You know, that's not an ancient custom. You know, from back, you know, 1st century AD or 33 BC or 100 BC. You know,
it was
we gotta look back up there.
Yeah, it says approximately the 2nd century CE.
2nd century, so 200 they started covering their head. Yeah, so that's a new custom. That probably comes from somewhere. I don't know where they came from, but I'm sure it's not. That's definitely not Israelite custom. It probably came from Canaan or some other worship, some other god. But that's not That don't come from Moses, any of the founding fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. But I'm sure wicked Israelites started that custom. You know, as it was written, Jacob was the former of all things. But then they adopted it. The so-called J adopted it. You know.
Well, it says, all right, so somebody said, my understanding is that modern denominations started wearing only a kippah and not a hat sometime in the late 1800s.
Yeah, that's what I originally heard was 1800s.
Yeah, you know, maybe Israelites were wearing, I don't think they're wearing no damn yarmulke, like, you know.
Yeah, the yarmulke, I think that was way later. Like 1900s probably, like maybe 1800s.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it says, I'm just going to the point. It says that the tradition of wearing a head covering only started with European Jays in the 17th and 18th centuries.
Yeah, there you go.
That sounds more accurate. Yeah. But that's new. Yeah. Probably come from maybe the worship of Dagon or one of them ancient Canaanite, Moabite gods. So, type in when did the Catholics start wearing it? When did the Catholics? They might be talking about the Catholics, the 200 BC thing, or 200 AD.
Go on.
They might be talking about that, Catholics. But get what we were reading.
John 4, and we was right at the point. We didn't get to it though.
Go read.
John 4 and 22. Ye worship ye know not what.
Yeah.
We know what we worship,
Yeah.
for salvation is of the Jews.
Salvation is of Israel. What?
But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipper shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. The woman saith unto him, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Hamashiach. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Yahweh saith unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. And upon this came his disciples, and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou, or why talkest thou with her?
Yeah, because she was a heathen. All right, and she knew about the prophecy of the Messiah coming.
Yep.
All right, so that's something else the Levites taught. That the Messiah is going to come back and recover Israel. All right?
Yep.
He didn't teach that the Levite didn't teach that the heathens that they were going to be saved, because that's not within the doctrine. It's nowhere in the doctrine, in any of the prophecies of the law. All right, the law says that the heathen are going to be slaves. The law says that when the Lord returns, when the Lord appears, makes his appearance, that the Israelites are supposed to follow and listen to. Go ahead.
Yep. John 4 and 28. The woman then left her water pot and went her way into the city and said to the men, Come see a man which told me all the things that I ever did.
Yeah, so he said that woman wasn't going to be saved. All right, so she ain't gonna be worshiping no more. But so
Yep.
these are men that came back were Israelites. They weren't heathens. What?
John 4 and 29. Come see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Hamashiach? Then they went out of the city and came unto him. In the meanwhile his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. But he saith unto them, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. Therefore said the disciples one to another, Hath any man brought him aught to eat? Yahweh said unto them, My meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes, and look on the field, for they are white already to harvest. And he that reapeth receiveth wages, and gathereth fruit unto life eternal,
Yeah,
that
the prophets doing the work. Go ahead.
that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. And herein is that saying true, one soweth and another reapeth. I sent to you to reap that whereon ye bestow no labor, other men labored, and ye are entered into their labors. And many of the Samaritans of that city believed on him, For the saying of the woman which testified, he told me all that ever I did. So when the Samaritans were come unto him,
Listen.
they besought him that he would tarry with them, and he abode there 2 days. And many more believed because of his own word, and said unto the woman, now we believe, not because of thy saying, for we have heard him ourselves,
Right.
and know that this is indeed the Hamashiach,
That
the
was
Savior.
a damn heathen.
Yep.
All right. So read that again.
John 4:42, and said unto the woman, now we believe, not because of thy saying, for we have heard him ourselves, and know that this is indeed the Hamashiach, the Savior of the world.
Yeah, which are the Israelites. All right? Israel scattered all over the earth. All right. Now look up world there. What verse you in?
John 4:42.
John 4:42. Look up world. Look up world. John 4:42.
Gone. So John, the word for world is the Greek word cosmos.
Yep. Which is the orderly arrangement, a government, a constitution, harmonious. All right. So that's the Israelites. The heathen are going into slavery. All right. That woman is going into slavery. All right. Like the apostles said, the woman at the well was a heathen, but the Syrophoenician was an Israelite, if I'm not mistaken. All right. And we'll get that since we mentioned it. We'll get the Syrophoenician woman. Yeah, part of the people, it was a mixed population that were parts speaking Aramaic and Hebrew. Aramaic was Syro, was Syrian, Aram, that's the Aramaic language, and people. And Phoenician is Canaanite, because they spoke Hebrew. All right. So you had their population mixed together, the actual Syrians and Canaanites and Israelites dwelling together. And they pretty much just mingled themselves amongst each other. All right. Or they may have had their own, partitions within their group. They were just living in the same area. Just like you have a city, just because the label of the city that you come from is all the same, don't mean everybody in the city operates within the same group. They have their own groups, their own neighborhoods. But you have the different tribes, like you have from Philadelphia, but you have Ephraimite tribes, you have the Benjamite tribe, you have the Judite tribes, and the Dominican tribes. Some of them mixed together, and some of them more partitioned. So just like Syrophoenician. All right. Just because it has a name doesn't mean every single man, woman, and child was that nationality, which that's not even a real nationality, Syrophoenician. That's a made-up nationality because two people got together. So anybody can live there. Just because the name is on it don't mean that's 100% of the population of the two. All right, those are Israelites amongst the heathen in Syrophoenicia. All right. So all right, so get that account. Syrophoenician.
So it got
By nation. Oh, you got more guys. Take it.
gone. So so what the Catholics call the J hat, the yarmulke. It's called the zucchero.
Zucchero. When did he start wearing it?
Yeah, it says current use is governed by a motu proprio of Pope Paul. It says the 6th in 1968, who made the zucchero. It says
Obligatory.
Yeah, con. It says only for members of the hierarchy. Other clerics may use it. It says previously seminarian became a cleric on the assumption of celibacy, which occurred with subdiaconate. It's just to skip down. It says this use developed in the 1500s. Previously, the popes had their own distinctive cap called camaro. White became the papal color with the ascension of Pope Pius V. It says a Dominican to the chair of Peter.
The Catholic Church, Constantine, find out who started the Catholic Church. So what year was that? You said the 60s. It was mandatory for a certain rank to wear the cap. But before then, before 1968, they had their own style of headdress.
Yeah, and then I guess they kept on like changing colors. So it says white in the 1500s, red in 1464, or red cardinals. Pope Pius the second decreed this color for cardinals at 1464, and then now it says, and then now it's black. So like when you look it up.
But the Pope's the one he wears white, right? I guess because he.
Yeah, I mean, like when you look up, this is how it looks like. But I guess maybe it's different.
The priests wear the black ones. I know the priests wear the black ones.
Yeah.
And certain type of priests, the cardinal might wear the red one.
Yeah.
But the Pope wears the white one. Okay. Different colors, but the same style. 1968 was mandatory, and they had their own styles before then. But when was the Catholic Church founded? You got style Phoenician woman?
God. It's the book of Mark 7:25. It says, for a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Syro-Phoenician by nation.
Yeah, how's she gonna be three things? All right, she's Greek and she's Syro-Phoenician. All right. So obviously, it's talking about where she lived and her language. All right. You can't be all three. It has to be referring to one set of attributes and another set of identities or attributes. All right. So more than likely, she spoke multiple languages, but she was classified as a Greek. All right. A Syro-Phoenician by nation, meaning where she lived or where she was from. The area she was from, the landmass.
Mark 7:26. The woman was a Greek, a Syro-Phoenician by nation, and she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. But Yahushua said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it unto the dogs. And she said,
that's disrespectful talk.
And she answered and said unto him, yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs. And he said unto her, for this saying go thy way, the devil is gone out of thy daughter. And when she was come to her house, she found the devil gone out, and her daughter laid upon the bed. And again, departing the coast of Tyre and Sidon, he came into the sea of Galilee through the midst of the coast of Decapolis, and they bring unto him one that was deaf and had an impediment in his speech, and they beseeched him to put his hand upon him. And he took him aside from the multitude and put his fingers into his ears, and he spit and touched his tongue and looked up to heaven. He sighed and said unto him, Ephphatha, that is, be open. And straight
so that's a demon. Some of them demons stay with you forever until the prophet come and cast it out of you. So you have speech impediment. So if you have speech impediment, that's a spirit that's on you, and that's plaguing you. What?
Yep. It says 35, and straightway his ears were open, and the string of his tongue was loosed, and he spake plain. And he charged them that they should tell no man, but the more he charged them, so much the more a great deal they published it. And they were beyond measure astonished, saying, he had done all things well. He marketh both the deaf to hear and the dumb to speak.
Yeah. So definitely Israel gonna believe when the elect receive that spiritual power. All right, if they did back then, they're gonna do the same thing now. All right. So the Syro-Phoenician, Greek Syro-Phoenician woman was the Israelite, because she was healed, and that's contrary to the prophecies on the destruction of the Gentiles. The Lord said He's gonna separate the sheep from the goats. All right. So it's impossible for an actual heathen that's not of the lineage of Jacob to be delivered, to call on the name of the Most High and to be saved. No heathens ever want to receive spiritual power. All right? On the right-hand side anyway. It's impossible. Yeah, they say Peter founded the Catholic Church. Is what the Catholics say. or there's some documentation that Peter found in the cafeteria, which is a damn lie. Peter did not found the Roman Catholic Church. Peter never went to. There's no account that Peter went to Rome. Right? Unless he was executed in Rome, then he may have went to Rome. But Paul, he the one that petitioned Caesar, Kaiser, and I believe he had to go to Rome for that. But Peter didn't found the church at Rome. All right? Because Esau's such a damn liar, you gotta dig and give me the Proverbs. His ways are movable. His ways are movable. Read that proverb. The Psalms. Ecclesiastes. His ways are movable.
Yep.
Read it.
Okay, yeah. So
No, read that precept first.
Yep. Proverbs 5 and 6. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them.
Yeah, her ways, the harlot, the ways of those religions, those different religions, Roman Catholicism, Islam. All right. All right, go ahead.
Yep. Keep reading.
No, go with the information.
Oh, Khan. So yeah, I was searching. Some accounts were saying apparently Yahushua started it in 30 A.D. the Catholic
They're
Church.
trying to gain the authority, get the authority of Christ on your back.
So it says, according to the Moody Handbook of Theology, the official beginning of the Roman Catholic Church occurred in 590 CE with Pope Gregory I.
That makes more sense.
It says, this time marked the consolidation of lands controlled by the authority of the Pope, and thus the Church's power into what would later be known as the Papal States.
And look up those. What state was the first? Was it in Rome? Was the first state, or Vatican City? The Papal States. What's the first Papal state?
It says, well, let's read it.
Her ways are movable. Look up movable. So the cat is not noble. Yeah, information will change. It'll be buried. So you try to get to know a certain spirit, and then they switch up on you. They'll have conflicting information.
Yeah, so that word for movable in the Hebrew, nawai, it says to quiver, totter, shake, reel, stagger, wander, move, sift, make move, wave, waver, tremble.
Yeah, move. So you can't get the correct information. All right. You got some more information on that?
Gone. So
Get where the Lord said He's gonna separate the sheep from the goats. Sheep until 13.
it says that the Papal States, officially the state of the Church, were a conglomeration of territories on the Italian peninsula under the direct sovereign rule of the Pope from 1756 to 1870. It says they were major. It says that they were among the major states of Italy, and from the 8th century until the unification of Italy, which took place between 1859 and 1870, and culminated in their demise. So yeah, that's from Wikipedia.
Right. So when you read the book of the Romans, those are the Israelites that were had set up churches in Rome. They weren't talking about heathens. But the 9th and 10th chapter prove that. that the letter was written to Israelites that were set up churches in Rome, and it already had houses of worship already set up, and then some of them converted to worshiping Yahweh Shai. They were worshiping Yahweh before, and when Paul revealed Yahweh Shai to them, they converted to the church to worshiping the Messiah.
Yeah, and also the previous article about on the history of the Roman Catholic Church, it mentions Apostle Paul. You know, and to read it real quick, it says Apostle Paul returns to Rome. So this is 60 CE. There's Apostle Paul returns to Rome after suffering persecution for attempting to convert. It says, yeah, the Jays to Christianity. He is said to have worked with Peter. The reputation of Rome as a center of the Christian church may have begun during this period, although practices were conducted in a hidden manner due to the Roman opposition. It says Paul died in about 68 CE, probably executed by beheading upon the order of Emperor Nero. Apostle Peter is also crucified around this time.
Read Romans 1st chapter, 1:1.
Romans 1:1. Paul, a servant of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of Yahweh, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures, concerning his son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh, and declared to be the Son of Yahweh with power, according to the Spirit of holiness, by the resurrection from the dead, by whom
now pay attention to the 5th verse. Is how we know that the actual heathen can't fulfill this. Read the 5th verse.
Romans 1:5. By whom we have received grace and apostleship for obedience to the faith among all nations for his name.
Obedience to the faith. All right, they can't be. It's impossible for an actual heathen to be obedient to the faith. All right, they have to call on the name of the Most High and His Son, right? And they would have to keep the laws to the best of their ability. All right? And they would have to agree that the heathen are going, their own people going into slavery. They're in turn going into slavery. That's how we know that all the nations, the Gentiles, are not referring to the actual heathens, referring to Israelites that lost their religion, lost their language and their culture. Right?
Yep. Romans 1:6. Among whom are ye also called of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to all that be in Rome, beloved of Yahweh, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from Yahweh our Father.
Yeah, called to be saints. All right. So if you're a saint, that means you're separated. You're special. All right. That means you're not. You're not unclean. You are clean. Called to be saints. So if you're called to be saints, that means you step out of the character of being a heathen. All right. What?
Romans 1:7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of Yahweh, called to be saints, grace to you and peace from Yahweh our Father and the Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. First, I thank my power through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach for you all, that your faith is spoken of throughout the whole world. For Yahweh is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit in the gospel of his Son, that without ceasing I make mention of you always in my prayers, making requests, if by any means now at length I might have a prosperous journey by the will of Yahweh to come unto you.
Stop right there. Pull the same chapter up and verse. Read the 5th verse again. Continue to read.
Yep. Romans 1:11. For I long to see you, that I may impart unto you some spiritual gift, to the end ye may be established. That is, that I may be comforted together with you by the mutual faith, both of you and me.
Yeah, that you may be, to read that again, that you may be established. Read that again.
Yep. Romans 1:11. For I long to see you, that I may impart unto you some spiritual gift.
Spiritual gifts. What?
To the end ye may be established.
That you may be established. What?
That is, that I may be comforted together with you by the mutual faith, both of you and me.
By the mutual faith. The actual heathen don't believe in keeping the schoolmaster to bring us to Yahweh Shai. All right? Read the 5th verse again.
So it says Romans chapter 1:5, by whom we have received grace and apostleship for obedience to the faith among all nations for his name.
Read it again.
It says Romans chapter 1:5, by whom we have received grace and apostleship for obedience to the faith among all nations for his name.
Yeah, obedience to the faith. So we know that the heathen can't have obedience to the faith. The heathen can't be established under the faith of Yahweh Shai. So you're going to jump down to the 21st verse.
Romans 1:21. Because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
Right, because if you believe that you can just eat whatever sacrifice you want, you can eat and you just clean it with the Lord, or you can just eat in any or behave in any heathenistic way and you're still cleansed, that you're not being obedient to the faith, because you're supposed to put that off. But this modern day, where does the church teach? Come as you are. No, you can't be obedient to the faith if you just come as you are. You gotta acknowledge that your actions are wrong and repent, meaning feel remorseful for your sins and change.
Yep.
All right. What?
Romans 1:23. And change the glory of the uncorruptible Yahweh into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things.
Yeah, you got them. They bow down before those images of Cesare Borgia. You know, they bow, they sit down, look up. You know, that's worship. You know, you don't do that to images. That's not the customs. You're not being obedient to the faith. So the Roman Catholics are already done. They can't be the saints. What?
Verse 24.
And they agree with sodomy, which he's about to get into. So that's idolatry you're reading now, right? Then it's about to go into sodomy. Go.
Verse 24. Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanliness.
So being unclean is not being obedient to the faith. All right, like you read in the 5th verse. All right. What?
Romans 1:24. Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
Yeah, so to dishonor your body is not being obedient to the faith. What?
Verse 25. Who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who was blessed forever. Amen. For this cause Yahweh gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust toward one another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet.
Right. So if you agree with those actions, all right, you can't. You're not a saint. All right, continue. I'm gonna read all the way to the end.
God. Verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them.
So that means if you are committing those acts, if you're unclean, that means you're not retaining the Lord in your knowledge. That means you're not one of the saints. All right. And the heathen all believe in those churches that they can be unclean. They actually believe that. You got even actual Israelites that believe that. So they can't be the saints. And those Israelites are going to be burnt up, and then they're going to be reborn in the kingdom. But the actual heathen, they're going to be reborn into slavery. What?
Verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of Yahweh, despiteful, proud boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of Yahweh, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
Yeah, so said you're worthy of being deleted. All right. So the actual heathen don't believe that you have to keep the laws to the best of your ability, and understanding the laws will bring you to Yahweh Shai so he can save you. All right, they believe you can be unclean. That's what I mean. Be ritually unclean and still be justified as eyes of the Lord, and purposely, being unclean. We're all technically unclean, but they'll take no thought of it. When we become unclean, we ask for forgiveness, we get ourselves clean, so we ritually clean, and so we're justified. So we still have the schoolmaster. The Catholic Church, all the churches, they don't have the schoolmaster, so it's impossible for them to come to the Messiah. And either way, they can't ever come to the Messiah because they're not of the elect and they're not Israelites. All right, so we'll leave that there. All right, hope y'all were edified. See y'all next week. Shalom.